So most CSR conversation focus on budgets, compliance, and annual reports. But very few people have spent nearly 3 decades working across government, NGOs, academia, and corporate foundation, and then successfully built one of the most respected CSR implementation organization. India spends more than 26,000 crore annually through CSR. Thousands of NGOs, foundations, and companies are trying to create impact. But here's the real question. Why do some social initiatives transform the entire communities while others disappear after funding ends? Today, we are speaking with someone who has spent more than 30 years trying to answer that question. He has worked in academia, government institutions, international NGOs, philanthropic foundation, and now leads one of the most established CSR foundations. As a director of SRF Foundation, he has helped build partnership across government departments, corporate and civic society organization to scale education and skill development initiative across multiple states in India. Dr. Suresh, it's an honor to have you with us on Decoding India's Social Sector podcast.
Thank you, dear Pritham. It's, your kind words, and it talks more about me. I'm more than happy to share my experiences with the audience.
Yeah, so let's begin with your story. You started your career as a lecturer before moving into government system, NGOs, international development, and eventually CSR leadership. So, what originally attracted you to the development work, sir?
If you honestly say that, I don't know ABCDs of the development sector when I entered it, because it was the need I looking for the to after finishing my education. So I have to stand on my own feet, and where to go, how to go, no clue. It was there was one thought is that I should get government job and get settled well. That was the initial thoughts of mine, kind of thing. And started a career there in Andhra in a remote college. What you mentioned there, 3 years I was there, then moved to teaching at PG level in another college, then moved to Delhi for a government job. That is what I applied for that, but I didn't. I was not got selected because of lack of fluency in Hindi, and I got opportunity to work on it temporarily on a development project. That is how I started my journey with the development sector in Delhi accidentally, not a planned thing.
So, looking back, which phase taught you the most, like the academia or the government part, or NGO sector, or the corporate CSR?
So if you see that when I say I am the student of government school and government college, entire my educational journey from grade 1 to up to PhD level, I haven't spent any money for my education, but I got benefited with the government system. At the same time, my education gave me qualifications, certifications, and kind of thing, but not the really to the exposure and the skills which are required for the if you have to compete and you have to deliver something, or if you are to up to date what is happening in the industry and take informed decisions and point of view, you need knowledge and skills and competencies and connections. These things are not there. When I studied just only a routine learning and traditional way of learning. One step finishing the grade 10, then go to the plus two, then the UG, then the PG, then the PhD, like that. So when I entered into the development sector way back in 1997, accidentally in Delhi, that is a time actually 5 years of period of time from 97 to 2002. These are the 5 years my exposure to the many things. One is coming from South India to North India, Delhi. That is one thing totally new to me. That to be national capital. Second thing about the local culture, the language, the food, the weather, country, everything is totally new to me. The development sector totally new to me. So as I said, I started in a fresh manner without knowing anything in a new place, without having the our friends, our relatives, our no comfortable zone and kind of thing. So that 5 years period is the period of struggle, period of survival, period of learning, period of more generating more curiosity, hands-on experience. So all is mixed, I can say, but I can see more positive in the sense because it is I wish to prove myself and that whatever the opportunity came to my way, so I took it and survived and what I am today. So that was the foundation. So one is the qualification gives you to call for interview kind of thing, but your experience, competencies, knowledge, that actually to give a place to you. So that I got it being in Delhi for 5 years.
Thank you. Like education appears to be the thread connecting your entire career. So when you entered the sector, what were the biggest gap you saw in India's education system?
When you say education, I mean, I'm talking about when even I was studying, while I was studying, I
Mhm.
used to take I used to take classes for the primary school children. One of the schools run by my uncle. For him, it was the low budget school and kind of thing. So to assisting him, supporting him, I used to take classes. While I was doing the PhD, also I used to take the work for university classes, so attending the Saturday, Sunday during that leisure time kind of thing. So teaching and education, it was there as a part of my brought up. That also again, it is not the intentionally kind of thing. And the way I got experience and exposure to kind of thing. So when I entered the education field, I did a B.Ed and M.Ed degree as well. So like in South India, everybody, one is the engineering and medicine is the two streams people pursue. Those days when I was studying, the teaching profession was a very attractive profession there. So that time I also did the B.Ed M.Ed course
Mhm.
to give some safe and security kind of that point of view. So then I came to Delhi SCERT for the diet lecture post. So that time I said I didn't get the chance, but I got chance of the development sector. So it is actually, it happened its own way. It is not the planned, I said, it happened.
Mhm.
But once I tasted the how development sector works, especially working with the communities on the ground, working with the government on the government platform, and the people who are supporting the cause, education. So it actually added value by way of my exposure to the way of doing things in the development sector. So I took it as my core, my interest field and kind of thing. So till today, the last 30 years, wherever I worked for Delhi SCRT, then Care India, the international NGO, then the
Right.
Bairaju Foundation, Hyderabad, SRF Foundation in Gurgaon. In all these organizations, also I led the education vertical. So initially I was supporting to the my education portfolio director at Care India. So then Bairaju Foundation, SRF Foundation, actually I have been leading the education portfolio along with other portfolios, but education is the focus.
Right. So, like, sir, what are the challenges that were present at that time, and you still see them at this point of time as well? About the rural kind of an education system, how was it before, and have you seen any changes, or is
Okay.
it more or less the same?
Yeah, I can see there is a lot of change. There is a lot of change when I studied or when I started working in government school system kind of thing. Most of the children used to go to the government school. The
Mhm.
participation of the private sector is very minuscule, maybe limited to only the urban areas, that to be the metro cities and the kind of thing, or maybe there are some residential schools in distant places. So that was happening the private segment. So most of the almost all 90% of kids used to go to the government school. Not only 90% kids, but also students from the all sections of the society, the rich and the poor, the low caste or high caste, forward caste, backward caste, irrespective of the system. There's only source of learning is the government school, and attention focus was also very high from the government department also on the running the education mandate in the government schools. So slowly in last 30 years of time, what we can see that the supply side, it is more private schools coming into the picture, and the perception of the parents started thinking that the quality of education is good in private school because they are English medium, they are the teacher people ratio is less, all facilities amenities are there because the uniform or private management, what are the things are there, affordability of the parents. So based on these things, one is the supply and also aspirations of the parents and the affordability. So it drove the children from government setup to the private setup. As on today, I don't say that 90% in the government schools, around 40 to 50 different parts of the country. So it ranges between the 40 to 50% of the kids attending the government schools and the rest attending the private schools. So this is what the change I have seen that. And
Mhm.
if you're working in the same school, so I have great regard to the government schools because what I am today is because of the government education system. So, so there is no difference between students studying in government schools in terms of the IQ,
Mhm.
Studying in private schools in terms of IQ. Just only difference is that opportunities. So how those
Mhm.
opportunities can be created as a part of our developmental work, that is what
Mhm.
I'm trying to see.
Right. So you speak about education transformation rather than simply running educational projects.
Right.
Many NGOs focus on infrastructure, teacher training, digital learning, or scholarships. But transformation sounds much bigger. How do you define transformation, transformed school or transformation of a school?
So if you see, if you have our own children, so how do you think for our own children? So we want to see that our children should get the holistic development opportunities, whichever the school he or she goes. And it is not just only the academics, but also academics beyond the curricular activities, the physical sports development, everything, the child should get the holistic development opportunities. Somebody has to create that opportunities. So in the case of the affordable families, rich families and private school point of view, since you are able to pay the fee and get those things there, so that is taken care. So in the case of government system, where the children attending from the less privileged background, and the facilities in the school which are not optimum level, and also the opportunities are not fully available for everybody there in the system studying there. So when you are working for the cause of education, just don't do that a piecemeal approach. That's saying that I can do one thing that will take care of everything and kind of thing. No, so, like a child requires holistic development opportunity, the education system, the school with whom we are working, that also a holistic way of looking at. For example, you go to government school. So one is we talk about there is a physical things, academic, digital, and leadership. We segment into four segments. The physical things, they should need to have the good classrooms, so functional toilets or drinking water facilities or sports facilities, sitting arrangements, blackboards or green boards. School as a learning aid and a nice place, better than the home. Children love to come to the school. That is the physical I'm talking about. Academic point of view, we have to address that the learning needs of the children, recruit children, how to address that learning, not just only who are attending the school, but also the children out of the school. So how to identify them, bring them to the school, and provide the education opportunities, learning opportunities by bringing the teaching learning process, training the teachers, workbooks, and creating the libraries, creating the labs, exposure visits. So it gives the bunch of interventions, so the learning development opportunities. Same time, since we are living in 21st century, the schools also need to be fit to the 21st century by way of equipping the digital facilities in the classrooms, and teachers will equip with the capabilities and kind of thing, the connectivity, content and level system, governance using technology. So that is the other part of the one of the requirement of the school. The last one is about the leadership we're talking about. This is the school is owned by the government, owned by the school management committee of the parents, and the village where it is operating, the headmaster, the teachers who are running the school. We are just going from outside. We are doing something for the school. So what is their ownership for their own development process? So that is the leadership element we bring in. So addressing these all four elements: physical, academic, digital, and leadership. So we can try to bring the holistic transformation of the school that leads to the holistic development of the child. So from that point of view, we adapt the school, we handhold that school over a period of time, addressing all the gaps in the system. That is the approach. It is a sustainable approach. So since we are working with the government school system, we are not creating any parallel structures to remain the system. The behavioral change, what we bring there among the school leadership, among the teachers and the teacher learning process, the learning outcomes of the children, the ownership about the parents. So this they remain there with them wherever they are there, kind of thing. So from that point of view, so when we do developmental work, try to bring the holistic transformation of the education rather than the attempting bits and pieces.
That's an amazing overview of what education system should look like. Thank you so much, sir, for it. And let's talk about building institutions since you are in SRF Foundation for almost 2 decades. What was the vision before when you joined? Because SRF Foundation today works in different section. It works for school education, early childhood development, vocational skill, digital literacy, future skills, environment, culture and heritage program. So there are a lot of things which is involved. How did it expand it, sir?
Honestly, say that there are two aspects here. One is that when I joined SRF Foundation, I didn't know anything about SRF Foundation. because I was very much there in Hyderabad, comfortably settled there, and I was working with an organization. Due to something happened there in the organization, I was supposed to move out from the organization because of there is no further moving of that organization. So then, that point of time, I came to know somebody approached me. There is an SRF Foundation. Why don't you? That is, your profile matches the requirement here in Ram. So then I'm looking for the opportunity. Then I thought, why don't I explore kind of thing? So in a matter of a month and a half time, had interactions, and I found it is because I was there in Delhi already 5 years earlier. So coming back to Delhi again from south to Delhi, I don't mind any issue and kind of thing. Then I joined. When I joined SRF Foundation, just only it was me and one more person was there. Two people were there. And as on today, we are 300 people working in the SRF Foundation, spread across 13 states and are doing projects in 34 project locations, working with numerous government schools, not only from the contributions of SRF, our parental company, but also other corporates also joined hands with us to take this mandate to wide across the country. At the same time, I would also like to emphasize that the SRF as a company, the promoters family, how they are passionate about the education. So you might know the names of Lady Shriram College of Commerce, the Shriram Schools. These are the institutions established by the promoters family of the setup business. So there is a passion in the family that they want to provide the good quality education to build the institution for the country. Like LSR is an institution, SRC is an institution, SRC Shriram Schools are institutions, they build it. When I joined them, they said that clear message that we how to provide the same kind of quality of education what we do in the government system, public school system. So that was the thought they had given to me. So that is the starting point for me at SRF Foundation. And second thing is about the vocational skills. SRF being a manufacturing company, it engages the people at different levels of the company processes. So at the ground floor, especially shop floor, it engages the people of grade 10 plus 2 pass outs and ITIs kind of students. So they also told that so in India we have many students who drop out, left the education after grade 10, 12. So how do you tap them and train them, put them in the mainstream market wherever they get opportunities and can they can go. So these are the two directions they are suggested. One is the education government school system, how to promote quality education. Second thing, how to engage the unemployed youth into the good employment. So with this mandate, I started my journey as a CEO of my own business. So when a CEO of my own business, it is my responsibility. So how I can build the institution of SRF Foundation, not just only as an organization, but also its portfolio. So striking the balance between two things. One is that building the portfolio by way of building the program and making it to the bigger program to reach the wider segment. Second thing is that to deliver the program, we need a good systems and the process and the people who are capable people in the organization. So we build the institution with the people and process, not the structure of cement and concrete building kind of thing. So taking these two things hand in hand, moving organically. I have been here for last 18 years now. So started our journey with just one location close to Gurgaon. It's called Mewat. So people think that Gurgaon is the Singapore of India, and Mewat is just 50 kilometers away in development point of view, is 50 years behind. So how we can start our journey there by way of implementing organization. We started our journey there like that. Then from there, in last 18 years, we expanded the program, not limiting ourselves only what SRF wants to do, but beyond that, what are the possibilities are there, opportunities are there to do things for the others as well. So like today we have partnership with 10 different other corporates also. All these corporates also, we build the partnerships based on the seeing the synergy between what we are doing and what they wish to do. So coming together, we co-created, for example, ground. So that is how the partnerships are happening. So because of partnerships, so we are able to reach short span of time, the large scale. So it is the win-win for the both
Both
leveraging.
about how they proceed ahead, like how they increase their horizon, how they broaden it up. So they have this doubt in their mind: should we expand from one state or another or not? What are the some of things which we need to be mindful about before expansion? So these often comes in their mind. Any suggestion for them, sir, who are just started and have a good presence on one particular area, but they wanted to expand to other areas as well?
Yeah, there are two things here, Pritham, when talking about. When we expansion, that one is the quantity, other one is the quality. So whatever you are doing that, either you want to expand you are doing one thing, but you want to expand in a bigger way, in a kind of across the pan India level, maybe more states and kind of thing. Or you are working holistically, but that will go more in depth, qualitatively, more focused approach kind of thing. So first level, there should be a clarity of the organization, whether they want to expand quantitatively or they go in depth qualitatively in holistic manner. So once the clarity is there, then it is helps them to next step. The next step we're talking about, when you go into with the quantitative point of view, then you have to see that how much you are capable of the capabilities in the organization to expanding capabilities. You're currently assuming you're working in some place called Haryana. If you want to go work with somewhere South India, maybe Northeastern India, maybe West India, or extreme North, do you have any presence there? Or do you have any understanding of that geography? And or do you have somebody is really willing to come to support you, fund you the program to do this kind of thing? So you have the know-how system, the process of the particular geography kind of thing. So once you answer these questions, yes, 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 then you can go. At the same time, if you have your own resources, if you want to go, you always feel free to. We can go anytime, part of time, just test and try out and kind of thing. If you're expecting somebody coming to you, support you for your expansion, they also evaluate you, how you are capable. So
Right.
how you are able to deliver? What are your competencies? What are the capabilities, team size? So what is your experience? That's domain that geography kind of thing. So you have to be able to demonstrate those things. If you're able to demonstrate that thing, is okay. Otherwise, if you are expanding organically, as and when the opportunity comes, you are going there. That is
Mhm.
natural way of expanding.
Yeah.
So you have to see that either you expand natural way or no, you want to in extra the exponential way. So suddenly you have to go expand to 10 states and that depends upon the context. One has to look at it. But whichever it may be, but you need to strengthen your organization. So if you
Mhm.
want to expand it with the system process, with the people, with the understanding and knowledge of the geographies. If those things are there, then the people come to you. And if you want to go holistically transformation kind of thing, you should understand the all aspects of the education system. As I said, physical, academic, digital leadership in every aspect.
Sir, you have worked in partnership very well. The organization has also collaborated with Microsoft, IBM, Shell, and top level companies, if you see. Question is, do corporates sometimes misunderstand social impact? And the follow-up question would be, do NGOs sometimes misunderstood corporate expectation? So there's a clash between both the parties sometimes, because corporate have their own way of working and NGOs have their own way of working. So sometimes misunderstanding could happen, or things can go south. What do you
Uh, yeah,
want?
it is. Yeah, it is not about a misunderstanding. It is about way of doing things.
Okay.
So both have the intention of to bring the social change or social impact. There's no
Mhm.
doubt on that. Intentions point of there is no doubt. But how to bring the social change or social impact? How you do it? The way of doing it, where there is a differences of the not differences, they do differently. What I meant to say that. So when you talk about corporates they run the businesses. When they run the businesses, it is measuring the success of the top line and bottom line and quarter by quarter basis, annual basis and return of investment, everything. It is very religious, rigorous, and intense monitoring and tracking. Otherwise, they won't survive. They won't survive. So they have to survive. They have to withstand. They have to progress. They have to make the profit. They have to do the this rigorous tracking kind of thing. At the same time, the NGOs point of social sector point of view, the civil society organizations point of view, they are today we're talking about the corporates because of the CSR. Before CSR, some corporates they themselves have been doing voluntarily, like a civil society, how it has been doing. Even corporates also used to do charity. The checkbook charity is one way of doing that. Other one is something they want to do. They have been doing kind of thing. When CSR came into the picture, then there are some of the rules and regulations and compliances, impact assessment, and CSR committee, the board approvals. All these things came into picture that actually make it is uncomfortable for the civil society organizations. Too much of the compliances part, too much of limitations and constraints, and that is what they feel it kind of thing. But even corporates also, before CSR, they used to do it, but at the same time, they used a lot of flexibility. Their things are their own hand. They can do things whatever they want to do, when they want to do, how much they want to do, with whom they want to do. Everything is full freedom used to be there. So because of CSR, there's some way of doing this, some change has came to the picture in the corporate side. At the same time, the civil society side, they have been doing, they used to get with their own resources, the CS civil society organizations, and also they used to get resources from the development agencies. Like earlier in the foreign funding, FCRA funding used to come, and the government funding also used to come. Now the both the things are dried out almost alike. Now they're purely depending on their own resources, or resources of the corporate CSR resource kind of thing. So where the adaptability, the change management kind of thing. So it is not the rocket science. So how the same thing, how you do it by being an informed person, understanding the other side, what the needs and requirements, and making them and also understand what things require the other side also. So it is a dialogue, a discussion. The more you know each other, more the relationship and trust, that together you can make a difference. So the corporate itself can't do the programs without civil society. Civil society also, it can't fulfill whatever is the vision and the passion talking about without funding support. So it is a mutual, it's a complementarity with each other. So they should try to understand each other by way of dialogue, interaction, instead of saying that corporates are like that, civil societies are like that. So that doesn't work.
Sir, if you could change one thing about India's CSR ecosystem tomorrow, what would it be? Interesting.
So you see, the original intention of CSR is not spending of 2% of average profit. That was the thing there. The intention was that the government, both central government and state governments, have been spending a lot of money on the social development for people's development. There's no doubt at all. The CSR contributions just only as on today, the annual contributions as on today around approximately around 35,000 crores. So that is the current annual thing there, and it's going to be grow 10% annually. That is the understanding. So the idea of CSR when government made a law is that since companies are good at running the businesses by way of applying the technology, the ideation, the ideas, bringing the ideas into the picture, delivering the things in a timely manner. So why don't to give opportunity to the companies? This some amount they can earmark that money. They can create some solutions for the transformation of either education or health or livelihood, sanitation, drinking water, slum development, rural development, or women empowerment, or sports. These are the opportunities given to the corporates by the CSR law. That is very clear. Second thing, the law also given the opportunity for the companies to choose the theme, which theme they want to work. Clearly given, either you want to choose one theme, all themes. Also, freedom is there. The third thing is about so it said that you create solutions. The solutions can be replicate somebody. Government itself can replicate it, not necessarily the corporate to replicate it. So if your solution is good enough, cost effective, or it is easy to scale and kind of thing, it is a sustainable kind of thing. So it is bring the equity and equality, whatever that we're talking about. The solution can be replicated by anybody else, even government itself, other corporates, other NGOs, and kind of thing. So I see that I encourage the corporates, don't see the CSR 2% money as a kitty available to you to spend, expenditure. Don't see like that. See it as a money given to you, opportunity given to you, how you can create a solution for the transformation of the theme you have chosen so that somebody can replicate, scale. Not only for India, for global also. Example, I will give you 108 service. in currently the emergency service in across the different states of the country is operational. But initially, the service was started somewhere in Andhra by a corporate, testing the proof of the concept. Then the government of Andhra adopted this concept for entire Andhra state. Now across the country, many states adopted this 108 service, emergency service. That's the example I'm giving that. Like many other examples are there. So people should see it as an opportunity. That is the one I can propagate across the CSR ecosystem, and people should think in that direction. Rather than seeing 35,000 rupees, 35,000 crores of rupees available, this much of money is there, usko distribute karo, 100 companies, 200 companies, each company come up with a solution for the one particular domain theme and kind of thing. So like that, we encourage that innovations, solutions.
Right. Let's move to the younger generation a bit. So India has one of the world's youngest population, yet employability is a concern. Yesterday we saw a protest going on. Youths are, not satisfied with the regime at the moment. They are protesting. They are talking about paper leaks. They are talking about the unemployment rate and a lot of other issues. So, just asking you, are colleges preparing students for reality, or is there a gap you see?
I see there is I keep participating various discussion deliberations on this topic, especially the transition from the school and college to workforce. So at one side, we are producing the lakhs of children, coming out from the schools and the colleges. At the same time, industry says that we are not able to get the enough workforce which are skilled enough and competitive enough and kind of thing. There is a huge gap between the what industry need and what the education system is offering. And so there should be a attempt should be made, especially in the education system, irrespective of the it is a private or government. I'm not talking about any specific domain and kind of thing. The entire education system. So a lot of reforms are required, especially you should not go just to traditional way of learning of rote learning or marks system and qualifications and kind of thing without any soft skills or as per the latest the curriculum changes for the industry requirement and the hands-on experience, not the theory-based, So these are some of the things we have to bring in the education system, at least at systemic level, we try to bridge that gap, what current gap is there. Second level, the industry has to be proactively participate with the government system to bring these changes and helping them, guiding them in bringing the curriculum aspects, syllabus aspect, practical aspect, exposure aspect, industrial training aspect, many things. And so there should be a transformational change, like how a caterpillar transforms to butterfly, rather than incremental kind of thing. So there should be a political will. Political will should be there. So because it is the will, political will can drive the change. Because of they have to make the policies, they can make the allocated budget, they can make the and bring the people to come together, work kind of thing. So the priority has to be given to that. At the same time, so the youth who are passing out, they have to reflect also themselves how much they are skilled enough. Just they have the qualification. Qualification doesn't give you opportunity. So this is a competitive world. You have to compete with the others, and so whoever is the better than other in terms of the skills or knowledge or information, experience, kind of, they get the chance. Like it is a market economy. In a market economy, if you want to find your own place, then you have to compete. You have to compete. That means you have to acquire these things. So without that, just to study it and not doing anything and being there. But employment opportunity to be created. What are the opportunities? Supply is there. Demand is also there, but it's not equal. So how to create the demand? The demand creation also. One is both private sector demand creation, government sector demand creation. So one has to think that. But one advice, if anybody wants to come in development sector, people to start work on the ground first. Start to work on the ground, and they should get a strong foundation. So how developmental work works on the field, understand the issues, the problems, the aspirations, the solutions currently available there, and how being a person knowing the ground realities more in depth. So then you can make informed decisions. Okay, so suddenly finishing the education, suddenly coming to managing the NGO or managing the corporate CSR kind of thing without knowing the ground realities. So you may be survive success for some time, but you may not prove yourself success.
Right. So, sir, you mentioned that SRF Foundation has more than 300 employees, I think. Have you seen any problem in terms of the staffs or people who are employed? Have they put to you any concern while working so far? Like, have you noticed any changes or any problem with the employees who are working in the sector with your organization?
If somebody wants to work in this sector, Pritham, first of all, they should have the passion, not the. Without passion, somebody wants to work in the sector, they won't survive and they won't be there, enjoy their work kind of thing. First, they should have the passion. If they don't have the skills and competencies that we can build as a part of the on-job training and kind of thing, we don't get the ready-made, straightforward. The people come on day one, they can start to give solutions and delivering kind of thing. So we have to handhold them consistently for a period of time, and over a period of time, the person can quick to learn and understand the things there, know his job and kind of that job. Then the person can able to do it. So in SRF Foundation, we say that we whomever we recruit, we say that once you join SRF Foundation, each one of you is a leader, not as a follower. So SRF Foundation gives a platform to you. So how to demonstrate yourself as a leader, up to you. So we are here to support you, handhold you kind of thing. While recruiting the people, we approach different strategy. One is for the head office here in Gurgaon, where we operate. Other one is the field operations. Most of the field locations, we recruit the people locally because of their familiarity with the local geography, local culture, language, and the sustainability, continuity of service there. That's the reason we recruit locally. When come to the head office, so people can come from any part of the country. They can join here. So there is no any limitation for the geography kind of thing. We try to give the preference to the people coming from the same socio-economic background.
Right.
So that means since our focus is education, focus is rural areas, and we try to engage the people who are coming from the SRF to work with SRF Foundation. So they're coming from the rural background, educated in the same environment and kind of government school system and context. So they know some kind of hands-on experience that geographies, local context kind of 30-40% of the capability building will be taken care with that background coming there. And the remaining 60-70%, we try to the way we want SRF Foundation way. So where we groom them on job training kind of thing, we take it. If somebody suddenly coming from out of the blue without knowing ABCDs of the less privileged section, society, the Bharat and the nothing, and coming with I have a passion to do. So we don't give preference first. We give the preference to the people coming from that background. So that is how we follow that, Pritham.
Thank you, sir. Sir, previously, actually, whoever wanted to form an organization, Section 8, they were mostly the experienced one who spent years in an organization and then gather the experiences from those organization, working through multiple verticals, and then they establish their own organization and kind of run it in their own areas, based on what they like. But now we have seen a trend where youngsters also wanted to build something and are coming up with new organizations. But mostly the youngsters that we come across, they are struggling a lot in finding a proper funding or a source of income so that they can sustain their organization, and in the same time they can able to implement those amazing ideas that they have, because there are a lot of organizations who are just running their traditional and conventional practices of community building, but then these new generation are coming up with new solutions that they wanted to implement on the ground. But this one place where they're stuck is basically finding out the right partnerships and growing their funding. So if you have to start a new organization, let's say from the very beginning, you are a youth, what are the some of things you will keep in your mind, and what are the some of the things you will practice in your initial 2 or 3 years?
Yeah. So you need to understand the 3-4 things. One is that your domain knowledge of the whichever domain you are choosing. So domain expertise, your in-depth understanding. If some million questions being asked, can you able to answer those million questions? You have answers to those million questions. That means you have the sufficient understanding about the domain. The second thing is about how to build the organization, the system and the process, the policies, those things I'm talking about. Third thing is about what are the idea you have, how to pitch it, how to attract the people can fund you, and this is the third aspect. So one has to look at these three things: the domain knowledge, in-depth knowledge, then how to build an organization. Either you want to suddenly somebody give the crores of rupees, you suddenly set up the organization kind of thing, or you start slowly and just grow it kind of thing. And second thing, how do you sell your idea? So if you set up an organization, first you don't need money. First you need an idea. So if the idea that is attractive to the people, and it is not you ask them, they support you, they support you. That is what where your success depends upon. Put the money back first. Don't put the front side. Put the idea first and propagate the idea. The people like the idea, they themselves come for we are there to support you kind of thing. Start it. Even CSR also, they ask if you want to do something, how to do about it. So if you give an idea to them, this is the way we can do, this is the way you can do that, they convince, they are the people fund you. It's like that, whoever is going to start. First, the person should know ABCDs of the domain more in depth, and able to answer a million questions. Then generate idea how your idea is going to be solve the problem. So that will be attractive to the stakeholders with whom you're talking about. Rest will follow you.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for this valuable feedback and suggestion. I'm sure the people or the younger generation who has something in their mind to start for, they'll able to catch it up and can build this thing out. Thank you. And let's lastly, at the end of the podcast, let's do a rapid fire where you can answer just in one word. Okay. So one book every development professional should read. What would it be?
Practice.
Okay. Second is, do you prefer education or skills?
Education.
Government or NGO, who has the tougher job?
Government.
One leadership quality you value most?
Think like a CEO of your own business.
One mistake young professionals make?
Over stretching.
So one CSR trend you are excited about?
Most of the CSR contribute coming to the education and skilling.
One thing India must fix urgently?
How to engage the young generation.
And what does success mean to you?
It is about self-satisfaction.
Okay. I think we have covered most part of it, where we talked about your experiences, and then we talked about a little bit of issues and challenges in the sector, and then we dug deep into SRF Foundation's work. Then we gone to the CSR wing of how does it function, and then we went to asking or maybe discussing about the younger generation and what are the challenges that they have, and you have suggested few things which might be helpful to them as a new organization or as a younger organization or as a particularly youth if they are into this domain. So thank you so much, sir, for this very nice conversation, and I hope that this podcast will going to benefit a lot of people, whoever will listen it. Thank you very much from the bottom of the heart. Thank you for being into the Development Wala's podcast, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Pritham. Thank you for the opportunity given to me to interact with you and share some of my thoughts and experiences. I hope this will be benefit somebody. It's fine, and otherwise it will be there. I feel happy that some things I shared with you.